Governor Eddie Calvo has ordered the Department of Administration to pay tax refunds with Section 30 money. However, this Section 30 money is cash that is already budgeted for next fiscal year, which means GovGuam is spending next year's cash on this year's expenses. Here's more.
I think it was in an interview with you that I said that I thought that was how he was going to be able to make the payments. So I'm not surprised.
Vice Speaker B.J. Cruz is referring to the governor's letter to the Department of Administration instructing them to use Section 30 money to pay out tax refunds. Section 30 money comes from the federal taxes on federal employees and military personnel on Guam. The federal government remits this Section 30 money to GovGuam every year in September. According to DOA spokesman Phil Bloss, GovGuam owes about $46 million in tax refunds for this fiscal year. Vice Speaker Cruz expects Section 30 money to be about $70 million, which is more than enough to pay out tax refunds. The only problem with this funding source is that it's already budgeted as a funding source for the next fiscal year, which means?
Well, he's going to be creating a shortfall in his revenue for the month. Whether or not he ends up in a deficit depends on how much is actually collected during that year. And trying not to have that happen was the reason why Senator Ben many years ago passed the law about provision for tax refund, where you were supposed to put in a certain percentage into this savings account for a tax refund, so that by December 31st of this year, you should already have $152 million or $125 million in the account, so that when people start filing on January the 2nd for next year, in the next year, there's already money that you can start paying out.
However, as Senator Mike Nicholas pointed out earlier in the year, GovGuam has not been putting money into the tax refund trust account on a regular basis.
Well, I'm glad that we're going to actually pay it out. You know, it's long overdue. But again, this is just another year of us doing the same thing. And the reason why we're having to wait this long and use that money is because the deposits aren't being made into the income tax refund trust account. And going forward, we need to make those deposits.
So Nicholas says that if the governor continues this practice, he will be leaving a deficit for the next governor.
In the last two circumstances, we also had at that point in time director confirmations, and so I was able to hold on to those confirmations until they made those deposits. But that's a political tool, it's not a financial tool. The deposits really do need to be made if we're going to be able to pay the people their refunds faster. So going into this next year, unless they're going to be having another director for me to confirm, there won't be that political tool anymore. And so I really encourage the governor, starting October 1st, to make those deposits so that we don't have to be making our people wait this long.
And for the last 2 years in a row, GovGuam has ended with a $60 million deficit, bringing GovGuam's cumulative deficit to $120 million.